This comes after Governor Kate Brown put Oregon State Police and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office in charge of public safety for today's events.
And we're learning that Portland police officers were deputized as U.S. Marshals to help with federal enforcement. We have team coverage for you tonight.
And we're going to begin with Fox 12's Drew Marine, who is live for us tonight at another protest, this time at the Justice Center. Drew?
Yeah, that's right. We're downtown where a couple hundred people have gathered in front of the parks, in front of the courthouse, and in front of the Justice Center. You'll see people are gathered across the parks, and you can hear them speaking in front of the Justice Center now. We've heard warnings from law enforcement already saying they respect their place to protest as long as they're not in the streets. Because this street, 3rd Avenue, is open to traffic. Earlier today, Portland Police Chief Chuck Lavelle says he's grateful for the help from Oregon State Police and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office, saying without the collaborative effort, things could have been much different today. USA! There were 3 events today, one Proud Boys event at Delta Park and 2 left-wing protests. One was at Peninsula Park and the other at historical Vanport, both in North Portland. All 3 events had a heavy police presence from the get-go. Ahead of these protests, Governor Kate Brown made the Multnomah County Sheriff's Office and Oregon State Police head of public safety. OSP says the, quote, massive influx of law enforcement at all these events Saturday was so residents would feel at ease. They even asked people to talk with their troopers if they see them in the area. You can see in a tweet from OSP, some attendees did just that. Oregon State Police and Portland Police also made several traffic stops near protests Saturday. In one instance, OSP cited someone for obscuring their license plates. Around 5 p.m., Portland Police also recovered buckets full of rocks and condoms filled with an unknown liquid. As all 3 events wrapped up, though, things remained relatively peaceful and there was little to no interaction between each side. In a press release, Mayor Ted Wheeler thanked law enforcement for their work, saying in part, quote, it's testimony to the collaborative planning and preparation Portland Police did with our local, state, and federal partners. We will do everything possible to hold those who break the law accountable. Violence is not welcome in Portland. Police Chief Chuck Lavelle was also happy with today's peaceful protests, tweeting, this was a massive undertaking and would not have been successful if not for our coalition. My sincere thanks to the OSP and the MCSO for their unified command of today's events, as well as all agencies who assisted. We also caught up with a North Portland business owner who has a store near Delta Park. Fred Doan closed Premier Beauty Supply at the recommendation of Portland Police.
I think it's good to close the stores so that everyone be safe.
Earlier in the week, Doan was concerned about possible property damage due to protests, but was feeling relieved after he saw they remained peaceful.
I was having a nightmare last night when I sleep, because I'm afraid things going to happen, and there's no way we can afford to fix anything, and so it's a big relief for us.
And this is just another look in downtown Portland right now. There are a few hundred protesters gathered in the parks in front of the Justice Center and courthouse. We've already heard warnings from law enforcement telling people they have the right to protest as long as they're not in the road because this street is open to traffic. And in that statement from Mayor Wheeler earlier, he says, as the night unfolds, he hopes things remain peaceful. And we also reached out to the governor's office to see if in the future, Oregon State Police and Multnomah County Sheriff's Office would be in charge of public safety, but we have not heard back yet. Reporting live in downtown Portland, Drew Marine, Fox 12 Oregon.